Hello and welcome back to the FPL section of the Cheap Seats, the weekly FPL show where we discuss all our teams and we discuss what we've done in the previous week and the changes we're going to make because of the mistakes we made in the previous week. Like, hey, Adamula Lukman, I'm up. I'm sorry. I backed Scotty Parker. No, I'm sorry. It's fine. They're getting relegated. It's okay. But I still managed to get about 76 points, which is pretty good. So that was a good week for me. Yeah, found a way. Always find a way. Oh, yeah, yes. And also, like, Aston Villa lost, but somehow there's a save ratio that this man keeps on doing. Martinez is just making Arsenal's decisions even worse every week, but it's fine. We've got Leno. How was your FPL week, AB? How's it looking?
Not happy about it. No one performed. Like, literally, okay, Kane did something, Bruno did something, Son did nothing. The one dude who did something, Jesse Lingard, I left on the bench. And I'm just like, but why? Why did I do that?
Rookie errors happening, and you think you've lost top spot in our league, so that's going to be, it's going to probably haunt you for like a very long time. Dean, how was your week?
Yeah, my week was good. I managed 60 points. I'm up to 160,000 in the world, fourth in our league, catching AB. So FPL is the only thing that I'm looking slightly like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to football.
Making a run. Okay. Normally we ask everyone to give us the player that we're transferring in, the player that we're transferring out, the differential they think is going to be a differential for the week, and also a captain for the week to help you guys think and we'll discuss other players as well. But let's go with the one who's making a run right now, Mr. 100,000, Dean. So Dean went with transferring in Chris Wood, transferring out Mikel Antonio. Kevin De Bruyne is his captain this week, and Danny Ings the differential. This is going to be fun. Dean, firstly, Chris Wood. Really?
So my whole thing is I need to get Antonio is a great player, but this whole injury problem that he's having, you don't know how long he's going to play. I mean, he only played 35 minutes against Wolves. And I've been wanting to get rid of him for a little bit, and I just haven't been able to find someone to replace him with. And I think if you look at that Chris Wood option, they've got, he's really coming into a bit of form over the last 2 or 3 game weeks. He's managed to get a decent amount of points. So I needed someone that was on kind of the same price point, if I can call it that. And the fixture against Newcastle just helped me make that decision. I mean, Burnley don't have great fixtures coming up, but again, like I want to move to that 3-5-2 formation. So I just need a little bit of a differential striker. So I've got Kane and Bamford. Those are the guys I'm going to finish with. So if Chris Wood can pitch in with a goal or two, I'm not going to say no. So that's the reason why I got rid of Antonio. West Ham's fixtures also have a touch and go, even though they are, in great form. I think the man you get in now from West Ham is Jesse Lingard. You don't look at anyone else from that West Ham side. And then some of the other guys, I mean, differential, Ings is a great choice for this week only in terms of a differential. They're playing West Brom. So I was going to bring in Ings, but then I saw the rest of the fixtures and I thought, probably not a great long-term move. But Ings could come good. I mean, they played, I can't remember who they played over the last weekend, but he came to the good. He scored some goals and he was there. So
interesting enough, they've scored their highest points. Both Ings and Wood scored their highest points in the last game week this season. So that's a good thing for you and for those because Chris Wood's a good striker. He's no scrub, and we just needed Danny Ings to find that form after that injury. And so seemingly now the Saints are trying to make a run for, I don't know, probably because obviously every position is money, so they're trying to make some sort of a run. So that's a good one. So let's look at Dean's team one last time. Just have a look, and we'll go through. So now the next man, number 2 on our league. I don't know where he is. He's probably like Mr. 10,000. AB finally after 3 weeks. Rashford, Iheanacho as your differential. You transferring out Son and Mo Salah as your captain. why are you transferring out Son when next week it's a double game week for Spurs?
I made a mistake.
I messed up.
Yeah. Look, I screwed up. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know next week. I've been tired of Son. So obviously he's gonna go and score a hat trick this week. I just got tired of him. He's a nice guy. He went to the army. Everyone loves Son. But yeah, he hasn't been getting points. I actually don't even know how many points he's gotten me in the last 5 weeks since Bale. Yeah, so Son needed to go. I think with Martial's injury and Cavani possibly going into early retirement, Rashford and Greenwood would probably do most of the damage for United together with Bruno. So hence why I'm bringing Rashford in. But now I'm a little worried about his injuries. So yeah, that's not good. Iheanacho, I signed a little bit late, but he does have favourable fixtures coming up after West Ham. And if Leicester are going to do well, him and Vardy are going to have to do something, especially with Bonds being out. And then captain-wise is really difficult because your standard captains are playing. Your standard captains are playing big games. Like Kane will score against United because United are cuck at the back. Bruno will score against Spurs because someone will dive. Yeah, exactly. Rashford might do something. Bamford is playing City, so there you go. So Salah, I went with because I think Klopp is going to remind them of that 7-2. Was it 7-2? Yeah, it was 7-2.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, 7-2. And if Liverpool are going to win, it's going to be goals from Jota or Salah. So, at least if Liverpool win and, I'm like, Liverpool won, at least it's going to be Salah. So it's been a really tough week, guys, to pick players. It's not fun.
No, it was. It was, but somehow I got saved, and I'll let you know what happened. So I got rid of Son 3 weeks ago before I found out that Spurs were going to have a doubles game week next week. And so I had extra cash because I was playing Ademola Lookman. So I brought in Lookman last week thinking that he'd be a differential for thingy. He didn't end up playing. I think he got 1 point. He got injured with that hamstring. So I had to take him out. So thanks, dude. Thank you. But I had enough money. I had about 7.7 in the bank, and I was trying to figure out which midfielder to bring in. And the two that I've put up there in transfer and in differential were the guys that I thought could come in. Mason Mount is like the second coming of Frank Lampard. Don't tell him this, but literally he is scoring from midfield. He's got 6 goals this season. Diego Jota's got 6 goals in a many small amount of appearances he's made. So I decided on the Liverpool man Jota because they were playing Aston Villa. I was working on the revenge angle. And then I decided to captain him. My question, obviously, I've got De Bruyne, I've got Fernando, Bruno, so it might change. I've also got Harry Kane up top. You can never go wrong with those guys. But the other sneaky one is Ollie Watkins. If Aston Villa are as legit as they are, and seemingly this is probably the last chance for them to make a push for Europe, they have to beat a big name again. And with that centre-back pairing of Kabak and Nat Phillips, who I don't think is good enough, and you just need a striker who's quick enough to come inside there, and Grealish probably coming back in, who's also another transfer risk. He's a risky player. You can bring him in, but he's quite risky because I do think he will play, but I just don't know how many minutes he'll play. But he will have an impact somehow this weekend. And so that's the other captaincy option I had. But I went with Jota because I don't want to go with De Bruyne because everyone else is going with De Bruyne, and that's smart money because it's Leeds. But also the other thing is that De Bruyne played Champions League in midweek. Sterling, Aguero, and Gundogan were rested as well. So and Mahrez were rested. So those guys could come in, and maybe you might see somehow a switch between Gundo and De Bruyne. But that was my thinking this week. I just hope Jota scores because right now Liverpool can't buy goals, and the only man bringing them goals is Jota. And to a certain extent, yes, they looked better than Arsenal, but Arsenal just were playing. It looked like anti-football at times. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was bad.
I was sitting there going, these guys just came. I don't know what they were trying to do. And so I want to take that out. And I know if Nasli is listening, she'll probably jump at me. But I do think that Jota is the man, and Klopp needs to let go of this Firmino dream. It's over. It's done. He's the first transfer out the door at the end of the season. Gives you nothing. Jota gives you everything in that position. And so for me, that's what I'm going for this week. Are there any other sneaky differentials looking at the fixtures? I see a tasty Sheffield Arsenal.
Lacazette.
Odegaard, Lacazette. I think those are probably the two guys you'd be looking for. Maybe even if you have Leno in goals, I'm thinking of putting Leno in goals. You've also got Burnley, Newcastle. We've spoken about Chris Wood. This is also another sneaky 6-pointer for Nick Pope, if you have him, which is something that can really help you out. Chelsea, Crystal Palace, as we've spoken, Mason Mount all the way in. I don't know who else is going to be playing, but Chilwell scored over the weekend, so I think he might get the nod on the left again.
Someone like James against Brighton?
Yes, exactly.
I think a big one is Wolves. Wolves is a big... So Wolves has got Fulham, Sheffield, Burnley, West Brom, the next 4 games. So...
But then who at Wolves?
So I think the only person you look realistically now at Wolves is Pedro Neto. And I think it's one of those massive differential picks. I think Traore got an assist at the weekend.
He's higher now.
Yeah,
he's playing
so it's not
him. He's in the realm where I would play him. He's in the realm where I'd put him in because they were playing that rubbish 3-4-3 and he was playing right wing back, and that's not him.
But I honestly think, at Pedro Neto, 5.7, and those for the next 4 games, if you're trying to look at something that may come to the good. I mean, Wolves are terrible at the moment. But if they had Raul Jimenez, everyone would be on Raul Jimenez in these next 4 games. You'd be jumping on it. So you kind of you don't want to ignore Wolves in the next 4 games, but at the same time, exactly, who do you bring in? But it would only be Neto or maybe Neves. But again, that's also touch and go. So it is an interesting pick, but I think if you're looking for a transfer this week, that could be a good one for the next 4 weeks. And it's a bit of, if you're looking at like a differential between a Lingard or a Jota even, and you've got that kind of money to spend, it might be a bit of a shot. I'm not going to do it, but someone else out there listening might want to.
No. So my thing is, obviously, I think Pedro Neto is just around about the 5.8s. Around there. Yeah, so that's Rafinha territory. So if you're tired of Leeds, take Rafinha out, put Pedro Neto in. It's possibly what I might do next week. But next week I'm going to try to figure out which second Spurs player outside of Kane I need to bring in without having to do 2 transfers. So that's going to be fun. But anyway, gents, any final thoughts for this game week? Yes, for everyone, AB, listen up. The game week is tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. Doesn't start on Saturday.
Friday.
Yes, tomorrow is Friday. Yes. So you got your picks in. So make sure that you have the right players on the field this time. But yeah, so you've been warned, all the listeners and the viewers.
I now rely on when you tell me the thing is, Paul, you know that. I now rely on this show to be able to be like, here's the deadline. Okay, let me go and do the
I'm going to go do my transfers now. But remember, it's Friday night, and it's an earlier. It's no longer 8 p.m. It's now 7 p.m. because they've moved their clocks. Yeah, back. So the bloody Brits, but it's fine. So let's just close the show out. Thank you very much, Dean and AB, for joining. Thank you very much to our viewers and our listeners on the pod. Thank you very much for joining us and being a part. Please do send comments and questions on Twitter, wherever we are on the social media platforms. One last thing, please don't forget, please do follow us on these platforms, interact with us as well, like and subscribe on YouTube. That's very important for us, as well as you can send people DMs. I know people don't like DMs, but you can interact with the guys on Twitter. They're very nice people. AB's going to be talking about golf this weekend, so he's still a football.
I'm also going to be talking about golf because Paddy Spurs are playing United.
Well, I'm not. And all the best to the teams that are playing on Thursday. All the best to you guys, and hopefully you don't get knocked out like Spurs and come back home crying. But from myself, AB and Dean, and the rest of the Chiefs team, le sale kakagiso.